All right, so have you ever, like, caught yourself singing along to a song in another language, but you have absolutely no clue what the words actually mean?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
But what if I told you that there's a way to actually use that love of music to learn the language?
Oh,
Yeah, that's
I
what we're diving into today. It's all about using music to unlock a whole new language, and all the information we've got for this deep dive comes straight from Lyrics Training. It's a platform that's completely built around this idea of learning through music.
interesting.
Yeah, so we've got genre lists, we've got trending songs. We even got some insights into how teachers are using this method in their classrooms.
I think what's really fascinating about this is that it's not just some kind of fun fad. There's actual science that backs up using music to learn languages. Music actually engages different parts of your brain at the same time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's engaging the parts of your brain that are responsible for processing language memory, even emotion. So think about it. You're way more likely to remember a catchy song lyric than you are to remember some boring grammar rule from a textbook.
Okay, yeah, you're right. You've got me hooked. But so how does lyrics training actually work? Is it just listening to music or is there something more to it?
It's definitely a lot more interactive than just passively listening. So picture this. You pick a song that you love, and then as the music's playing, you see the lyrics on the screen, but some of the words are missing.
Okay.
And your challenge is to fill in the blanks in real time as you listen.
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of like a musical puzzle, and it forces you to pay really close attention to the pronunciation and the word order.
Oh, that's cool. It's
Mhm.
like gamifying language learning. I can definitely see how that would make it way more engaging than just the traditional methods of learning a new language.
Right.
But what about people like me who are totally tone deaf? Is
Yeah.
singing along like a requirement?
Belting it out in the shower is definitely not mandatory.
Okay, good.
But lyrics training does actually have a karaoke element built in. Yeah, and it's not really about hitting the high notes perfectly, though. It's
Yeah.
more about practicing your pronunciation and getting comfortable actually speaking the language.
Yeah.
You can think of it like you're building muscle memory for your vocal cords.
Oh, okay. I like that. I'm starting to see how this could work. Now, I'm curious about the music selection.
Yeah.
What kind of music are we talking about here?
Well, the genre variety on lyrics training is pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm.
It goes way beyond like your typical pop and rock. You can find classical jazz, even movie soundtracks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they really do have something for everybody. And I think that's super important because enjoying the music is like half the battle when it comes to learning.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Learning should be enjoyable. It shouldn't feel like a chore.
Hmm.
And speaking of choices, how many languages can you actually learn with lyrics training?
The platform supports a pretty wide range of languages. It has everything from the really widely spoken languages like Spanish and French to even some more niche languages like Turkish or Finnish.
Wow. So it really does open up like a world of possibility.
It really does.
That's awesome. Yeah. And what about the website itself? Is it user-friendly? Because I'm picturing like a cluttered mess with flashing banner ads all over the place.
Well, from what we've seen, the website is actually designed to be really clean and intuitive.
Okay, good.
It seems like they've really prioritized making the user experience as seamless as possible, so you can just focus on the learning and not get distracted by anything.
That's good. That's a relief. So we know that they've got various genres and languages, but what about the songs themselves? Are we talking about like really obscure tracks or are there some familiar hits in there?
They seem to have a pretty good mix of both, actually.
It
Their top lyrics section features songs that are currently popular and that people are actually using for learning. For example, APT by Rosé and Bruno Mars is trending right now alongside the classic Last Christmas by Hom.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And it also looks like they've got a dedicated section just for new releases.
Oh, nice.
So they're definitely keeping things current and updated.
All right, so we've got the platform, we've got the music, we've got all these languages, but how does this translate to the classroom setting? Are teachers actually incorporating lyrics training into their lesson plans?
Believe it or not, they are. We're seeing reports of teachers all around the world who are using this platform to spice things up in their classrooms and engage their students.
Wow.
Yeah. It's really a testament to how effective and adaptable this whole approach can be.
So it's really fascinating to see how this platform is being used, not just by like individual learners, but also by educators.
Yeah.
But I am curious, is there any research out there that supports this whole idea that using music can actually improve language learning outcomes?
Well, there's definitely a growing body of research that suggests that music can be a really valuable tool.
Okay.
Studies have shown that it can help with things like vocabulary acquisition, pronunciation, and even grammar.
Wow.
And, Remember earlier when we were talking about how music engages all these different parts of the brain? Well, it seems like that multisensory experience actually creates these stronger pathways in your memory,
Oh.
and that makes it easier to actually retain the information.
That makes a lot of sense. I know for me personally, I can remember song lyrics from like years ago,
Right?
even if I haven't heard the song in a while.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering, is there a risk that we're just kind of like memorizing words without really understanding their meaning?
Yeah, that's definitely a valid concern. Rote memorization alone isn't going to make you fluent,
Right.
but when music is used strategically, it can be a really good stepping stone to a deeper understanding.
Okay.
You can think of it as a way to kind of prime your brain for language learning.
Oh, okay.
So once you've kind of internalized those words and phrases through a song, it becomes easier to actually grasp their grammatical function and like the nuances of how they're used in different contexts.
So it's like music kind of sets the stage, and then you can build on that foundation using more traditional learning methods.
Exactly. It's all about creating like a holistic approach
Yeah.
that uses the strengths of both music and like more structured learning.
Okay. I'm sold on the concept.
Yeah.
But let's say somebody is listening to this right now, and they're intrigued, but they're not really sure where to start.
Hmm.
What advice would you give them?
I would say start with what you love.
Okay.
Pick a song in the language that you want to learn, but make sure it's a song that you genuinely enjoy listening to.
Okay.
It really doesn't matter if it's like the newest pop hit or some classic ballad.
Yeah.
As long as it makes you want to tap your feet and hum along.
So ditch the boring textbook dialogues and crank up the playlist instead.
Exactly. Make language learning a part of your everyday life.
Okay.
Listen to that song while you're commuting to work, while you're cooking dinner, even while you're working out.
Oh, yeah.
The more that you immerse yourself in the music, the more naturally those words and phrases are going to start to seep in.
It's almost like you're tricking your brain into learning.
Right.
But what about actually, like, deciphering the lyrics themselves? Any tips on that front?
Well, that's where lyrics training really comes in handy.
Okay.
You can choose that fill in the gaps mode
Yeah.
and challenge yourself to complete the lyrics as the song plays.
Okay.
It's just a fun way to test your comprehension and make sure that you're paying attention to the pronunciation. Don't worry about getting everything perfect on the first try. The goal is to just engage with the language in a way that's active and enjoyable.
I love that. No pressure, just playful exploration.
Exactly.
And speaking of exploration, I'm curious, we've talked a lot about the benefits for people who are like learning a language from scratch.
Right.
But could this approach also be beneficial for people who are already fluent in another language, but they want to maintain their skills?
Oh, absolutely. It's a great way to just stay engaged with the language and keep those neural pathways firing.
Yeah,
You can think of it like a mental workout for your language skills.
I like that.
Plus, it's just fun to discover new music and stay connected to the culture.
That's a good point. Language learning,
Uh-huh.
it's a lifelong journey. It's not just a destination. It's about continuously expanding your horizons and embracing those new ways to connect with the world around you. But I am wondering, is there a downside to using music for language learning?
Mm.
It can't be all sunshine and roses, can it?
Well, like any learning method, it's not some magic bullet.
Okay.
And it's really important to be aware of its limitations.
Okay.
Like, just relying solely on music may not give you that comprehensive understanding of grammar or, those little nuances of more formal language.
So it's best to think of it as like one tool in your language learning toolbox, not the whole toolbox itself.
Exactly. It's about finding that balance and strategically integrating music into your overall plan.
Makes sense.
Okay.
That makes perfect sense. But before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I do have one more question.
Sure.
Does lyrics training offer anything beyond just filling in the gaps? What if you want to dig a little bit deeper into a specific song or artist?
Oh, that's a great question. And it actually highlights another one of the platform's strengths. Lyrics training provides really detailed information about every song and artist, including stuff like biographical details, album information, even related artists. It's like a mini encyclopedia for music lovers.
So you're not just learning the language, but you're also gaining a deeper appreciation for the music itself and the artists behind it.
Exactly. It's about really immersing yourself in that whole culture, the history and the artistry that goes into creating the music.
It's amazing how one platform can offer such a multifaceted learning experience.
Yeah.
But I think we've covered a lot of ground here.
Well, we have.
So let's pause here for just a moment, and then we'll pick this thread back up in the final part of our deep dive.
All right, so welcome back to the show. It's crazy how much we've already uncovered about using music to learn new languages. We've looked at the science behind it, the actual methods, and even some things to watch out for to make sure we don't fall into any traps.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
But before we wrap things up, I'm really curious about something. Like, what does this all mean for the future of language learning? That's a great question, and it really gets to the core of why I find this whole topic so exciting. Just imagine a world where language learning isn't stuck in textbooks and classrooms anymore. It's like woven into the things we already love to do,
Yeah.
like music.
Yeah, it's like breaking down the walls between learning and just chilling out. You're not really studying, you're just jamming to your favorite tunes and picking up a new language at the same time.
Exactly. And with technology always changing and evolving, I feel like the possibilities are kind of endless.
Yeah, for sure.
Think about it. Like virtual reality experiences where you can actually be immersed in a foreign city,
Whoa.
interacting with native speakers and learning through songs,
Wow.
or AI-powered tutors that can personalize your lessons based on the music you already like.
Okay, that sounds super futuristic, but I kind of love it.
Yeah,
It's just exciting to think about how technology can make learning languages so much more accessible and engaging for everyone.
I agree. And I think it's not just about the technology itself either. It's about a change in our mindset.
Mhm.
We need to get away from this idea that learning a language is a chore.
Yeah.
It's some box we have to check. It should be about the joy of discovery, about connecting with other cultures through music art, any kind of creative expression.
Totally. I couldn't agree more. It's all about having that lifelong love of learning, that curiosity that goes way beyond the classroom and out into the real world.
Yeah.
And I think music can be that bridge, that universal language that connects all of us.
Definitely. A catchy melody, it can go beyond borders, it can go beyond language barriers, it can make you feel things, tell stories, create shared experiences, even if we don't understand every single word. And I think in those shared experiences, in those connections,
Yeah,
that's where the real potential for understanding and cultural exchange exists.
that's such a good point.
Yeah.
It reminds us that language learning isn't just about memorizing vocab and grammar rules. It's about opening ourselves up to completely new ways of seeing the world.
Yeah.
Connecting with people from different walks of life and embracing all the beautiful differences out there.
And music can guide us along the way. So the
Yeah.
next time you hear a song in another language, don't just let it play in the background.
Right.
Actually lean in, try to engage with the lyrics. Let the music take you to this new world of language and culture.
Yeah, who knows? That one song might ignite this lifelong passion for a whole new language. It could open doors to new friendships, new opportunities, even change how you see the world.
Yeah.
And that's the power of music, right? It can inspire us, connect us, and transform us in ways we never even thought possible.
It's been awesome exploring this with you.
Me too.
I hope our listeners feel inspired to embrace the magic of music and, unlock the world of language learning.
Absolutely. And until next time, keep those ears tuned in and those minds open to the incredible possibilities of learning languages through music.